I have just fixed a Miele dishwasher. I am a handy person. I am not an expert, so check things out elsewhere first. But I've done the best I can, and I hope these hints, my voyage that I describe here, is helpful to you. So before you start on my machine, I have a water shutoff valve, which is right here, which you can shut off before you do any work on the unit. You need to cut the power as well. In my case, I can unplug it. There's a plug in the back. So water off and electricity off before you start. We have here a 19-year-old Miele dishwasher, which is having a problem with an F11 error code, giving us trouble. And I'm going to start by taking the water out of the bottom, and I found a turkey baster is a good thing to use along with a little tiny jug to get the water out. Here we are removing the last bits of water out of the dishwasher. We need to unplug the power to make sure that it's completely undone, and then there are 4 little Torx screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4 Torx screws to undo to get this main plate undone at the bottom of the dishwasher. So I have removed the water and stuffed a couple towels in the bottom of the dishwasher to absorb any extra water, and got it ready here to turn over to protect the floor with a couple towels a couple cloths. Okay. So the bottom is unscrewed, comes off fairly easily like this, and the motor we are talking about is down here. This is it right here. So I have removed the float as carefully as I could, and there's the motor there. Here is my new motor, which it's exactly the same, and it looks as if we have to remove this plate right here from the front of the dishwasher. It also has the 2 little Torx screws to remove it. To get at the motor, I'm going to remove this, looks like a capacitor or something similar, and I'll take these 2 screws off to get the capacitor out of here and get access to the motor. So I have moved the capacitor thing out of the way, and we have to remove this electrical connection, which is the power to the pump, and I've already loosened it, so it comes off easily, and then the pump has to undo from there. It looks as if the motor can be turned either to the left or the right to get it out, but be careful of this little tab here, which acts to stop you from stop it from coming undone, I think. So it keeps it in place, I believe. Don't break that off. I did get impatient myself, and it looks as if I broke a little bit of the motor off, but I have my new motor and it still has the part, so I'm lucky with that. There was some staining on the rubber part of the connection, the seal to keep the motor from leaking, but it looks as if that's not doesn't affect function, or I don't quite know how it got there, but that's the way it is. Okay, so we'll move on to the next. I have plugged in the motor. As you remember, I've unplugged the power previously, and so now the idea is to put this back in place and push it up, turn it around. It should work. I'm going to try that. We'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, there's some resistance, but it's quite firm and difficult, but you can make it move. As you can see, that's moving. So it looks as if it does It does fit in there pretty smoothly. I'm going to check it out now, make sure everything looks good, and make sure the power is still connected properly. It looks good on the other side around the back there. So we'll go to the next step. Okay, we have the capacitor put back in place, the plate back on the front, and the motor appears, checking it all out, it looks all properly set up there. So I think we're okay from that perspective. The float is now back in place, and we're going to put the cover back on again, carefully with the 4 screws in the various places around the bottom of the machine. As you put the bottom on, you do of course have to tighten up the 4 screws, but also there are 2 little tabs right here and here, which can cause you trouble, so watch those little tabs. Before you start the machine, be sure to replace the various parts inside here, the filter and the cover for this. I have filled both places, both up with water again. You need to fill those 2 things up so that they're ready to go. Everything is ready to go here. I don't put in the racks, not really necessary at this point, but anyway, let's see if it works. I put it on the short cycle, and it seems to have started all right so far, but we don't quite know if it's going to work yet. Here is my non-return valve going back in again. There are lots of videos on the internet about this particular piece, so you can just make sure it's seated well. I like to follow the ring of the bottom and make sure it's nicely seated there. So I've now pushed the cabinet most of the way back in. It's plugged in again now, and I'm going to open up the water here in the under the sink. I had closed the water previously, as you remember. So open the water. I usually open it all the way and then turn back a quarter turn. So it's got water, it's got power, and now you can consider turning it on again and see how things go. Well, my new part for the dishwasher has just arrived. As you can see, the part number is 9297071. Just arrived. This is what the old part looks like. You see this is how it was in the machine. This nifty little piece here unscrews from inside, and that's what the part will look like. This is the inside, and this little flap inside the unit, it's called a cover. This little part was loose. It appears not to be a backflow valve, like a no return valve. It appears to be rather just an effort to stop the noise as water goes through the unit, through this and back down there, because as you can see, the water comes from the pump, goes into this tube, goes through the unit, and then comes back here and down the drain, back out of the unit. Anyway, we're going to replace this because it appears that little black thing in this, the little black thing in here, was causing the problem of the F11 error code. You have to note that to get this cover off, you turn this piece here, which is actually threaded, and I'll show you that a little later. But turn that counterclockwise to remove, and the whole piece, the assembly, lifts off after that. You don't have to worry about a little connection at the very back behind here. Don't worry about that until you can look at it later. Okay, bye. The new part just goes in just like this, so you can see like that. I'll have to firm it down. You tighten it in place, the cover in place, by replacing the old sort of supply root for that. It screws in, and I'll just tighten that a little bit with a pair of pliers. But it goes all the way in and it holds the unit in place. That's the only thing to do. I am refilling the bottom of the dishwasher prior to the next step. So it's got a good bit of water in the bottom and just allows everything to work properly. I am filling up the salt container area as well. The spray arm goes back on. Next, I'm always careful about these little clips, which look a little fragile to me, but they have not broken off, so be careful about that. Looks good. I like to make sure that the drain pipe has a nice free sort of path to the drain, and that everything looks good there. It's good and tight. Also, I make sure that the water supply in this case has been opened up. Not yet, but here we go. Okay, so open up the water supply, and of course the power is on at the unit now. My dishwasher seems to have been working well now for a few weeks, and all seems to be good. The big lesson from my experience has been that for about $75 you can replace this cover. This seems to have been the little culprit inside. The inside here seems to have come loose and caused the intermittent F11 error. So $75 in Canada delivered to your door. A value from Miele means you don't have to replace the whole dishwasher for another year or two anyway, I hope. So I hope this has helped you. This cover, by the way, can be replaced without removing the machine from under the counter. So you just turn off the water and the power and replace it as shown in the instructions earlier. Pretty decent kind of little fix for somebody, and it turns out I suspect the other two repairs were not necessary. So I don't know what this little black thing is for, but I suspect it is a sound attenuator that went wrong by coming loose in there. I think it's supposed to be attached to the bottom of the cover. Okay, that's what we learned this time around. Hope you've found the video useful, and if you have any questions, or comments, I'd be interested. Very best. Bye.